Welcome back, Tarot fam, Tarot Maniacs. So, I have been a busy bee over the last 24 hours working on one of the mini courses that I promised you for the holiday and for spring break. But in the middle of that, I stayed up until like 1 o'clock in the morning last night. In the middle of it, our little feral cat on the front porch had 3 magical kittens. So we have 3 new souls on the front porch. They are resting comfortably. Mama did great. She's very happy. So I'm very happy. I posted a picture, the best picture I could get of them on my community page. If you want to go look, they're so cute. There's a little all white one. So I think we're going to have to address that because all white kittens are typically deaf. So don't know if that cat will do very well out in the feral wilds of our country life here. But we're going to talk a little bit about Harry in this video. So apparently, I'm a little bit late to the party on this because I know it happened a few days ago, but Harry went to the Ukraine after he was arguing in the appeals court about his security and safety in the United Kingdom. Now, one of my viewers so graciously told me that apparently the Kiev airport was closed on the day that he allegedly went there and went to the superhuman clinic where they are treating individuals with injuries from war situations and that kind of thing, injuries received in war. So he went as part of the Invictus package. So presumably he is going to write all this off and have Invictus pay for it. So it is what it is, not a shocker. So let's take a look at a few things. Before I do that, hit the like button, then you can hit the subscribe button. I am very tired, guys. It's almost 10 o'clock at night. I have been burning it at both ends. So let's get to my first question. Thank you so much for being here. And I will have a link to the first of my courses in the description of this video. I will also have, you can also go and take my 3-day tarot course. You can go and take the Lenormand course as well. I'm considering discounting that for spring break too. So let's go. I'm going to bring up that card view, hit the like button. I'll get it straight. I will get it straight. I'm going to make this card view nice and big. I'm using my Renaissance Tarot today. I did a private reading earlier, and for some reason, I just was drawn to pulling this deck out. The client was delighted. She actually has it, and she said, I love that deck. So I said, I'm going to use it for the rest of the week. So I do have to do some Teaspoon of Tarot for you guys tomorrow. I know I owe that to you, and I know I owe you some shorts. I'm going to get back on schedule next week when I'm not quite as burnt out. So, what was Prince Harry's true motivation for traveling to the Ukraine immediately after his UK court appearance? The Lovers, that is a contract. 7 of Cups. They are offering him something over there. Queen of Coins, he's out of money. The World in reverse. He is making a deal over there. That is a deal because the only thing he knows at this point is Invictus. The only thing he knows is trauma and bad things. So he is going to latch on to that. This absolutely is a deal that he had to cut. There's a lot of things they're putting in front of him. Ukraine, there's some sketchy stuff that comes out of there, guys. Just saying. We've all heard about it. Judgment under the surface. I think he is under the impression this is the last ditch, the last place that he can go to get some kind of buoyancy and support. Because here, Queen of Coins is gone. All of his opportunities to make money are gone. So I guess he is just going to kind of slide along with the veterans. So up here, Hermit, it's what he knows. He's going to isolate himself and go do that. And he's going to go try and be a martyr of sorts because the world is over. No more money for Harry. 4 of Swords. He is actually, I do think that he's actually going to be putting himself in dangerous situations to prove to the whole world that he actually does need security because he is in a dangerous place at all times. So I think he is going to be doing that. Was this trip initiated by Harry himself, or was he influenced by outside advisors or organizations? Let's do 3 piles here, guys. So we're going to do, did Harry initiate it? Did some shadowy person behind the scenes initiate it? Or did Meghan tell him he had to go? Harry, 2 of Swords. shadowy person behind the scenes, King of Coins. That's somebody who's paying out. And then, oh, look at Meghan. She is thrilled that he went to a crazy place. I do think that she is happy about those coins coming in too. So I think that there is a third party that has given him some kind of benefit for going to do that. Probably are they giving some money to Invictus too? The moon in reverse, 10 of coins. You know what? We'll know who this is. If we look at who the big benefactors are, we will be able to very easily figure this out. The connect the dots is not too hard on this one. So very, very interesting. Very interesting. Let's move on down my questions. So was this trip intended to boost his public image following the UK security hearing or appeal? That's actually an appeal. Did he intend to boost? I think he just wanted to get out of England as quickly as possible. I think that was really the gist here. He was like, get me in, get me out, get me in, get me out. I don't care where you take me, which is such a weird kind of idea. I think, he's just so embarrassed, I think, at this point about his behavior and about all the posturing that he's done. He's got to double down at this point. 3 of Wands in reverse. He knows that there's no going back. There's no point in staying there. Before I move off this, was this trip the confirmation that he needed, that the doors are closed to him? According to some sources, he has not spoken to his father in almost a year. Like, that's no communication, no emails, no texts, no responses. Is this trip the trip that he realized the door is closed? Knight of Coins, 3 of Coins, and the Lovers. Yeah, I think he has been telling them, we need a little buoyancy here, little ducat buoyancy, and I think they just keep ignoring him. So unfortunate for him.
Weird.
It's weird how that happens, right, Craig?
Yeah, you insult these people that raised you, and then suddenly they don't want to give you money anymore?
Yeah. Shocking. So did Prince Harry believe this trip would have an effect on his case for the personal security in the United Kingdom? Did he believe that this trip would have an effect? 6 of Cups, 3 of Swords. He wanted to be the wave and kissing babies prince again.
The stones on this guy.
That's not what he got. That is not the response that he got. The response, even though he did get that letter from the Yulia lady that said, Your Royal Highness, or our Royal Highness, whatever it said, he didn't get that reception that he is used to. He just kind of walked in there as a character, a caricature of himself, which is quite sad, quite sad. But he does think that possibly it could be different in the future. I don't know why he would think that. Did Harry hope to create a narrative of him tying himself to service and danger? I'm doing my job for Invictus. This is my service, and I'm in danger. Wah, wah, wah.
Well, then don't go into an active war zone. Well, I can't go. If I don't go to an active war zone, I won't be in danger.
Yes. So, Magician in reverse. The Stardust is gone. The Stardust is off him. The Knight of Wands, it was impulsive. It was foolish. He just raced into that situation. And then the Emperor in reverse. He really does have no agency over this, no matter what he does. This folly of going into an active war zone is on him. The courts are not going to see it as, oh, well, we better give him security because he's in danger. He has no business with that Emperor in reverse going into those situations. So, were any governments, NGOs, or private interests involved in coordinating this trip? or encouraging this trip for that matter. One card. So were any government or involved in the coordinating or encouraging this trip? The moon. Yes, there is a government that was. Were there any NGOs? Three of coins. Yes, working with the governments and any private interests. Absolutely. So yeah, there is a 2-level effect. Shrubbery.
Shrubberies?
Yes, shrubberies. 3-level effect. 3 levels. Is there a hidden agenda, political, financial, or personal, behind Harry's Ukraine visit? Political, financial, personal. Personal. All right. So political, the 3 of Swords, he is trying to become more of a political figure once again, even though as a Prince of the Blood, he was at one time a political figure of sorts, quasi-political. The financial gain, the Star in reverse, I think he was looking not so much for financial gain in his pocket, but more the panache. I think he was looking for the panache. Here, the moon, he was definitely looking for a little bit more of that starlight, stardust.
Is he like a prince for hire now?
I think that's what he is. I'm going to ask that question. Is he working toward being a prince for hire? Good question, Greg. He doesn't like it. This is like akin to prostitutka.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is like, I don't know if I could say that word. Prostitutka. That's a noun, but you know what I mean.
Sure, we all know what it means.
Yeah. Do you?
My Russian's a little foggy, but I think I can figure it out.
Let me grab my sumka. So, he sees this. Oh yeah, yeah. There is very the Duke of what was it? The Duke of Wales, is that what they called David, the deposed king, or the abdicated king? The Duke and Duchess of Wales, I think they called them.
I don't know who that is.
Or Windsor, Duke and Duchess of Windsor. Oh my God. Wallace Simpson and David, the king that abdicated for his handsome divorcee girlfriend. So it has that vibe. It feels like the Duke of Windsor. It really does. Like, I'm just going to pretend, except I think the Duke of Windsor was living much better because it was just a different world. They only had millions. Actually, the Duke of Windsor skipped out on a lot of bills. So how is the British establishment privately reacting to this? We're going to look at the monarchy and the government. The monarchy, 4 of Cups, and the government, 2 of Wands. So the monarchy thinks that it's a desperation grab. And I do think that they think it may have been phony baloney trip, that it may have been just posturing. I think they may have more intel that it really wasn't a real trip. Now, the government, Keir Starmer, Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, 2 of Wands, he is not going to get in the same room as Harry in this kind of stuff. He's just not going to do it because it's a bad look for him and the monarchy. He does not want to do that. He doesn't want to spit in the face of the king quite yet. But he is making alliances behind the scenes, concealing his alliance with Harry. Harry, do my bidding. How did the Ukrainian authorities and military actually feel about his visit? Let's see how the authorities feel. Let's see how Zelensky feels. Because Zelensky is so genuine. So Zelensky, I think, was initially unhappy about it and then did reach out and was like, oh, this is a good thing. And then judgment. How did the military feel about it?
Oh, my prince. No, thank you. We already got one.
I got one. I got the prince.
We already got one.
So the Seven of Wands and the Page of Coins, the military is balancing on the idea of Harry coming over. That justice in reverse, I don't think they saw him, but they heard about him. So I don't know if this really was a trip. So will this trip ultimately help or hurt Harry's attempt to regain automatic security in the United Kingdom? Will it help or hurt? Oof. No. They're going to use this and say that, well, if he can go over to the Ukraine, I said the Ukraine. Oof, I know.
Easy.
Not picking a side. For those of you that don't know, when you say Ukraine, that is in favor of Ukraine being a sovereign, independent country. And when you say the Ukraine, that is considering it as being a part of Russia, which is very interesting because Russian doesn't have articles like that. You have Sobaka, you have a dog, the dog. You really don't have articles. It doesn't work that way. When you use Sobaka, I think my grammar was wrong on that.
What is it?
What's that?
It sounds delicious. What is it?
Что это?
What is it? That's a side dish?
Что это is what's this? What's that? Что это? Что это? Что это такое? What the hell is that? So, what impact, if any, will this visit have on his overall public image over the next 6 months? The Tower, the Four of Cups, Seven of Cups, 10 of Wands in reverse, and the Ace of Cups. This was an epically bad idea. Ace of Swords. He's looking for a new beginning. Still hopeful underneath the surface with that star, but it is just not going to light up. It's just not going to happen. He can't turn this around. He walks around with a face like thunder all day long, and then he goes to a hospital where people are injured, and he's smiling. It's he's got the wrong expression in the wrong place. He has officially become a pantomime. Long-term fallout. Is there any long-term fallout for Harry from this visit? It doesn't get much worse than that tower we just saw. Legally and socially. Long-term fallout. We'll do legally on the left. And we'll do socially on the right. Legally on the left. Oh boy, legally on the left, the hangman, they're going to tell him that you should have paid attention to the optics of what you were doing because now you have shown us that doesn't make a difference if you come home or not. Doesn't make a difference if you have protection or not. Page of Swords, you told too many lies. So socially, how's it going to affect him? The Empress in reverse, the 10 of Wands in reverse, and the 8 of Wands. My goodness gracious. Go on now, go. Walk out the door. Sing it. Thanks, Greg.
I couldn't remember that one line, but I know it's you're not welcome anymore. But I forgot the line that goes in between. I was trying to think. My brain farted. I'm sorry.
Gregopedia, you worked at the Limelight. You should know that song.
I worked in the daytime.
You should know that song. They play that song during the daytime. Gregopedia worked at the Limelight. That's a little hint about what the man does. Huh?
I've been there in 25 years.
The clock is ticking. People want the reveal, Greg. They want to know all about you. They want to know what you do around here, Dr. Venkman. Quite frankly, there's been a lot of wild rumors.
Really?
I think so. So
I coalesce the vapors of the human condition into a comprehensive and viable. I forget the word.
one last reading. Do you think he really went to the Ukraine? Ukraine?
No. I think it's over there.
You don't think he went? The airport was closed.
Like what? He says he has PTSD, right?
Yes.
Why would he want to go into an active war zone again?
But that's from his mother, not from.
Oh, it's not from war.
No, it's from his mother.
It's not from playing video games all day.
It's.
Oh, you don't say that. We're not allowed to say that.
No, so, somewhere in Suffolk, Trevor went, aha! So, do we think he really went there, guys? Place your bets before I flip over this card. Did he really go to Ukraine?
No, he went to like Poland at the border.
Oh, that's an interesting idea. You think he went? You want to do a remote view on that? You should do a remote view on
I
that.
think he went somewhere close. So, you have the right vegetation in the background.
Not a bad idea. So, did he go? The Chariot. That's interesting. The Chariot says he went by car. Is Gregopedia right? Did he go someplace close? Death in reverse. 3 of Swords. 9 of Coins. It was a protected area, so it wasn't a war zone. So I think that superhuman place that he is at, went to. I think it was a set. I think it was a set. I'm just gonna say. So I may have to do a reading on Blue Origin too, Gregopedia.
Oh, yeah. You think that was?
I saw the landing of the Barbie flight, the Blue Origin Barbie flight, and that looks like a pretty rough landing. It was a pretty boof. And apparently they opened the door before they were supposed to. So I think that that's another trip that maybe we need to take a look at. So kids, I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know what you think. Do you think Harry really went to Ukraine? Do you think he was really there? I mean, I can't think of anything more ludicrous than going to court to appeal a decision on your security, and then you immediately turn around and go to the place where we're having a war, where there is an active war happening, an unpredictable active war. So I can't think of anything more ridiculous. But in the meantime, if you guys want to fill your day, the very first mini course on my digital academy launched today, and it's all about understanding the court cards, pages, queens, kings, knights. They always seem to get kind of brushed under the carpet. People always teach them as part of the minor arcana. And for me, I feel like they need a little bit more. This is just a mini course, so it's just a good understanding. You'll come away from it with a really good understanding of those cards. I go into much more detail in the 101 class, which I will continue to work on. But this, you guys have waited so long. I wanted to make sure that you got a little mini course, and I'll have a few more right on the tail of that. So hopefully before Monday, I will have all of these little mini courses up, and they are discounted for spring break. So I'll probably keep those discounts on until like Wednesday or so. I don't know. Maybe I'll leave them on until next weekend. We'll have to see. But in the meantime, go on there, go check it out. There's a link in the description of this video. I hope you guys have had a great day. I've got a lot more work to do, and I will see you and some kittens in the future. Bye, guys.